And when I came here, I learned about so many different cuisines. Even the Chinese, the Hakka Chinese over here, is very different from the Chinese back home. It's completely different because over here the Hakka Chinese is more of an Indian taste, but in Pakistan, the Chinese over there, it's very different.
The Halal Food Podcast, brought to you by HalalRun, the number one guide to halal eating options in the US, Canada, and the UK. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to the Halal Food Podcast by HalalRun. On our show, we interview the creative talent and entrepreneurs who power the halal food industry in North America. And we also celebrate Muslims from all walks of life in general. Now, Toronto, Ontario, has one of the most vibrant halal food scenes in North America and perhaps the world. Today, we're featuring one of Toronto's top creators and halal food bloggers. Her name is Anumta, and she blogs under the handle Fresh From Scratch on Instagram. And she also has other creative activities, which she's going to tell us about. So, without further ado, let's jump over to the conversation. Now, if you like what you hear, please hit that like button and leave us a comment. And we're here with Anumta today, one of the top halal food bloggers in the Greater Toronto area, who blogs under the handle at Instagram of Fresh From Scratch. Anumta, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure's all ours. So Anumta, why don't we start with, we love hearing about backgrounds of these top bloggers like yourself. How did you get into food blogging and halal food blogging?
So basically, like when I started this page, I actually started during the COVID time. It was a rough time for all of us, basically. So, as my name indicates, fresh from scratch, I am very fond of cooking. And when I started, so basically, I started it as a cooking page. And I used to share recipes, and at that, like I started back in 2020, and at that time there was like a very little trend of reels, or like no trend at all. So we used to do like the post, static post, and the IETV and all those kind of things. And then eventually, like after a year or so, I realized that during the COVID, we used to do a lot of takeout, and a lot of people used to enjoy eating at home, and like people were searching for good halal options. So then I slowly switched and started working with the restaurants as well.
Great. So let's go back even further. Um, how long have you been in Toronto? Where were you before that? And what were you doing sort of professionally before you became a creator?
So I came to Canada back in 2016. I got married and then I moved here. I'm from Pakistan. I'm from Karachi. And like when I came here, I was studying, and my educational background is I studied accounting. I work for a real estate firm as a revenue accountant. When I came here, I was working for a French school in their accounting department. And but on the side, I was fond of cooking, and like I generally enjoy serving people, making food for them. So it's one of my favorite things. It makes me happy, cooking and serving, and when people like the food. So that's a little bit of my background story.
No, that's great. So Anamda, what different kinds of food or cuisine do you like the most yourself, or can you even pick?
So like I'm fond of eating simple food, like the Pakistani food. I like to eat whatever the home, like usually. So my husband, he's very fond of trying different food, and when I came here, I learned about so many different cuisines. Even the Chinese, the Hakka Chinese over here, is very different from the Chinese back home. It's completely different because over here the Hakka Chinese is more of an Indian taste. But in Pakistan, the Chinese over there, it's very different. I like Hakka over here. I also like Turkish food, Afghani food, like Bamiyan. They has the best Afghani food. Naan and kebab. And like when it comes to fast food, I like burgers. So Six Side Burgers, they have like very good burgers. They have like two locations, one in Scarborough, one in Pickering, and they have like amazing fast food.
Great. What now you've been in Toronto, it seems like 6, 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the halal food scene in Toronto and how it has changed over time during your 6 or 7 years there.
I think it has changed a lot. Like even for my in-laws, they moved here like I think 20, 25 years back. So they used to tell us stories that how it was so difficult when they came here. It was so hard to find halal options. But now it's so good because it's like for people like us who are coming from different countries, we do not have to worry about finding halal options. You have like tons of options here, especially in Toronto. You will find every cuisine over here, the Japanese food, the Chinese, the Thai, everything halal. It's very easy now, and I'm glad it's easier for our generation, because like our parents or like grandparents who came here migrated, they struggle, but we don't have to. Like even in every area, you can find the best halal options.
That's great to hear. I remember that time when there weren't many halal options, so it's great to hear that there are. Um, let's talk a little bit about uh, how you've managed to become so prominent in the blogging scene. I mean, you have a tremendous number of followers on Instagram, right? For fresh from scratch, you have over 17,000. Um, so how have you built this following? Right? What are the sort of things you've done that have made you successful?
So basically, I personally believe in making connections with the people. When you try to connect at their level, so if you go through my page, you will find it's very realistic. Like a lot of people, they message me that your content is very pure, it's very raw, it does not seem very artificial. So and you connect on our level. I get so many messages on a regular basis, and there are so many followers like who take out time and they message me on special occasion when we have Eid or when we have Ramadan. Even like on a daily basis, they message me that, oh, you're doing good. And when you get messages like these, you get so much motivated to do better, and you feel that your contribution towards the community is making a difference. Even on my Instagram stories, I do a lot of motivation talking and positivity talking, stuff like that. So I get a lot of messages like regarding that as well, that you give us a lot of motivation that we have to do better and we can try to do things. Sometimes there is struggle, but then eventually you can get good results, so stuff like that. So my aim since the beginning is to build good human connections, and that's what I'm emphasizing at, and that's how I'm able to good a good community. And I'm so glad because I've met so many amazing people through this platform, and it's a wonderful community out there. So many good bloggers who became friends. There are all different kinds of people, and it's actually a very good experience in these 2 or 3 years. I have learned a lot. I have learned so many different things. When I started, it was just for fun, and then I have learned so many different things, to work with restaurants, to host media events, all these things, and it's a wonderful journey, I must say that.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. It's so great to hear and to see people having success in this field. What's the when you decide to do a feature on a restaurant, right? Say one of the reels that you do or posts that you do. How do you pick the restaurant? And then what do you look for in a restaurant that impresses you?
So how I pick the restaurant. So usually like I would not, so basically my main aim is to emphasize on halal restaurants. I'm always just working with the halal restaurants. And that's the number one, the core thing that I want to focus on, because I want to help the Muslim community, and even like the other people who do not eat halal. Like everyone can eat halal, right? So but for the Muslims, it's a difficult thing. So we have to emphasize on only the halal options. So I try to focus on working with the halal option. That's my number one strategy. Then the number two thing is that if I see that there is a small business and they're struggling, or they need my help. So I also emphasize on working with them and supporting them, um, because I feel that maybe my little support, my little help can make a big difference for them. So that's my another strategy. And if I'm working with a renowned restaurant, like, so I recently worked with Affy's, I hosted a media event for them. So when I came here, Affy's was, and it still is one of our favorite family restaurant. Like, we are always going to Affy's. It's any kind of celebration, any special occasion, we always go to Affy's. So restaurants like these, they have good name. So I also like to work with them, because I also want to share my personal experience with the people, that such restaurant, they're amazing, their food, everything is great.
Great. That's very helpful to hear. I want to talk a little bit about your other creator activities. You also have another Instagram account at Anumta Clips. It seems like you do wedding photography as well. The photography on it is stunning. So tell us a little bit about that and how it relates to what you're doing with food.
Thank you very much. First of all, I've started doing photography like very recently. So what was happening, like, a lot of people, they used to like my content a lot, that the videos, your photography is very good. And I was also very passionate when it comes to photography. So then I thought that maybe, since I'm working as a content creator, I can try and, do photography as well. So I started, taking some courses online. YouTube was my best friend. I still remember, like, I have a notebook. I write down everything. I make notes regarding the camera, the lenses, and everything. So I started doing that. And then I thought that, okay, I can try it as a profession. So even right now, when I'm working with a restaurant and when I'm hosting the events, I cover the photography for them as well. And then I share the picture with the restaurant, and I tell them that you can use it on your social media platforms. So that's how I started doing photography, because when I became a content creator, and I noticed that, and also it's one of the creative things that I love doing, even regarding the wedding. So I did a small photo shoot for one of my brothers here. So when I did that, it was for his engagement. It was a small get together at home, and I did the photography, and it made me so happy. Like personally, like, when you're capturing those moments, they're so special moments. So I can relate to it so much. So that's why I felt that maybe, if I get into this field, I think I will get success. So that's how I started doing photography.
That's really great to hear, and congratulations, because like I said, that's great to hear, and also that your photos are awesome. Um, so, and I'm going to shift the gears a little bit here. Um, we at Halal Run, we like to, we're all about building the community and celebrating the community, right? And celebrating successful Muslims and Muslim entrepreneurs and other great Muslims. Um, let's start with uh, restaurants in Toronto, right? Um, take me through your top, however many, five, 10, uh, favorite restaurants of any particular cuisine in Toronto, and tell me why you like them.
So when I came here, I so basically the food, the taste of the food over here is very different from the food we have back home. It's very different. When I came here, so my husband, he introduced me to different restaurants, and we used to go to Bamyan like a lot. It's my family's favorite, and it's now my favorite as well. My mother, she visited us from Pakistan recently. I took her there, and she also loved the food. It's phenomenal. Bamiyan is
What's the cuisine?
it's Afghani cuisine. Yeah, Afghani. Bamiyan is Afghani food, and they have amazing, like, the meat, it's the kebabs, everything is very good. For the fast foods, I like to eat different kind of burgers, different kind of fries, wings. I started recently I started following Six Side Burgers, and their burgers are really good. They have two locations, one in Scarborough, one in Pickering. The food is so good, because when you try the burgers, the patties, that makes a huge difference. I like their food as well. It's very good. And I like Affy's. They have the best steaks. It's one of the best fine dining restaurants. They have amazing pastas, amazing steaks. Their ribs is very good, amazing taste. And I also tried recently. I also worked with them. Grillados. They have a location in Mississauga. I don't know if they have any other location. I went to the Mississauga location, and their food is also very good. It's I also like their ribs, and they are also halal. Amazing food. And then Nando's has a bunch of different locations, but their food is amazing. They have like a grilled chicken with rice, and you have the option to select different sides. They are also amazing food and great hospitality. The ambience, the seating arrangement, it's amazing. It's very good.
Wow, those are some great recommendations. And I like to say, it's very hard for me because, we're recording this in the early afternoon. I
Mm.
haven't had lunch yet. This
Oh.
is making me very hungry because they all sound so good. um, so let's, on that theme, who are some of the other, you mentioned you've become friends with other halal food bloggers. Who are some other halal food bloggers who you think are doing a good job and admire?
There are so many people. Like when I started, I was so inspired by some people, and they are friendly, they are qualified, they have amazing personalities. So there is this person, her name is Rumina. Her Instagram is Food Delicious Mom, and she works with a lot of restaurants as well, and we even meet at different food events. I recently met her at one of the events for a restaurant, Milestone is one of the fine dining restaurants here, and they have like 3 or 4 locations, and recently they have started introducing halal options, and it's a very good opportunity for the Muslim community, of course, because we are always trying and looking for good options. And Milestone, they I recently tried their brunch, halal brunch option, and the food was really good. They had amazing, creative, different foods. So Rumina, she is a very good blogger. I love her work. I love her personality as a person. She's very nice. Then there's Halal Food Hunt. Her name is Aisha. She also started her she started her page because she said that she was always willing and trying to looking for different options, halal options always. So that's why she thought that maybe if I am always searching for good halal options, then that's how other people are also doing it. So I should start a page and build a community and start helping the people out. She's also one of my favorite. Then there is Super Foodie. They are two guys, Vakaz Bhai and Alam Bhai. They're also good, very good. And also as because I meet them like very frequently at the events, they are amazing people. There are so many different people that I have met through this platform. Waterbite, there's a person, her name is Sadia, her Instagram is Waterbite. She also do a lot of food. Then there's Anam Rizwan. She also do she shared about food. There are so many. Like it's so difficult if I start naming them. It's hard, but there are so many amazing people. Yeah.
Yeah, those are some really top ones, and it's good to hear. I mean, we're just so happy to see so many creators in this space because that's good for everyone. It's good for the community. It's good for the restaurants. It's good for everyone. So then the last question, Anamta, is, we talked about restaurants, we talked about bloggers. Let's talk about some Muslims in general, even outside of the food industry. Who is one or two or any number of Muslims in either Canada or the US in North America who you really admire and why?
One of my favorites is Noman Ali Khan. The contributions that he has done towards the society, towards the community, and his institute that he has made. He is like I like to listen to his lectures time to time. Even when I'm feeling low, I feel good the way he talks. He has a very good personality. I also like listening to Mufti Menk. he has made a huge difference. Like all the young generation, my sister, she's 10 years younger than me, and like if I have to explain something to her, she's like, I try because there are so many different small clips of Mufti Meng rotating on Instagram, so I'm always tagging her, and she's like, yeah, he's my one of my favorites. Even the same goes for my brother-in-law. He's very fond of Mufti Meng. So these people, they have amazing personalities and the contribution that they are doing towards the society. Because when it comes to Islam in the Western countries, people sometimes they have a very a weird concept as well regarding Islam and the Muslims. But people like Numan Ali Khan and Mufti Meng, they're showcasing that Islam is a beautiful religion, and of course, like Muslims are also like wonderful human beings. So, and they're portraying the religion beautifully. They're teaching us tolerance. They're teaching us patience and all these things. And Islam is all about that. Tolerance. It's a beautiful religion. So that's why I feel that they're making a big difference. They're trying to help people understand and look at Islam from a good perspective.
That's awesome. And that's a great note on which to end. Thank you so much, Anamta, for joining us and sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was a wonderful experience talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. And best of luck with all of your ventures, inshallah. And let's definitely stay in touch.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for joining us. As a reminder, Halal Run is the number one guide to halal eating options in North America, the US, and Canada. We feature over 13,000 listings in over 2,000 cities. If this conversation was valuable, we ask that you please subscribe so we can bring you more great content. Until next time.